What's up? What's up? Welcome to Fright Night. For real. All right, guys. It's just me. Just me. Just kidding. It's not just me. There's no Chris tonight. I'm sorry. I know you're disappointed with this opening. I didn't get the fangs, but I did the green screen for you guys. And this awesome soundtrack. Good afternoon, Joshua. Thank you, Robert. It is scary. This might be my favorite song we've done of all of them so far, by the way. But as I thanks, Gary. As I play this awesome intro, I will introduce our esteemed panel returns. Krystle.
Hey!
You like my music? No? You're not feeling it?
Good.
Sun!
Hi, everybody.
You like the music?
What's going on?
It's very seductive, guys. Marilyn? Our elf? You like the music? Thank you. Shand? Look at him go.
Nice.
And last but not least, he returns. He makes his epic return to the stream. Brian O'Halloran.
What's up? This was totally the get down kind of smooth kind of music back in the 80s.
I honestly love that song. I put that on my playlist.
Right.
Yeah,
it's like it's right up there with the love making music in Terminator.
It is. That's a great underrated. We didn't talk too much about that.
The same vibe.
Guys, thanks for joining us for movie night. As I mentioned, Chris Sampson, as many of you might know, not all of you, but some of you might know, Chris is not here tonight. He might be popping in from time to time, though. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Hopefully, that'll be nice.
Yeah.
Good luck, Chris.
He left us for another company. He drove across the country to get away from us.
But we made him sign a non-compete. He can't do a movie review show.
He cannot do any.
He's closer to me now, though.
He's closer to you. He's actually closer to me as well.
Okay, there you go.
I hope you guys like my background.
Nice.
Yeah, the movie poster was amazing.
The movie poster is awesome.
Yeah, seriously dope.
Yeah, and okay, so like let's jump in. I'll kind of go on to the synopsis of this movie in case. I hope you guys watched the 1985 version, but.
Hell yeah, with grave mistake in chat. What's up?
Yeah, it's the 1985. If you guys out there watched the 2011 version, I'm sorry, we're talking about the 1985 version today. If you've seen the 2011 version, it's okay.
I love Kyle's comment. Humperdinck.
Humperdinck. Oh yeah. Yes. That's my Jeff Goldblum. Okay. Okay, let's be serious. For young Charlie Brewster, nothing could be better than an old horror movie late at night. Two men move in next door, and for Charlie, with his horror movie experience, there can be no doubt that their strange behavior is explained by the fact that they are a vampire and his undead day guardian. The only one who can help him hunt them down is a washed-up actor named Peter Vincent, who hosts Charlie's favorite TV show, Fright Night.
Right.
Okay. That is our synopsis. How do you guys feel? What was your guys' first experience with the film? Is this your first time watching it, or have you watched it before?
Honestly, I can't remember. Even after watching it, I can't remember whether it was the first time or not.
Really?
Yeah. I know.
I saw it. I was a ticket buying customer to this film in the theaters when it was released.
Wow.
85?
Do you remember it being scary as shit? Because I do.
Yeah.
When I was
I thought it was fantastically updated to common sense kind of thinking about vampires.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was great. I'm a big McDowell fan, so to see him outside of a monkey mask was a good thing.
True.
Planet of the Apes reference for those who are not getting that.
Correct. Planet of the Apes. I got it. Krystle.
I did not, but
Krystle
I was
doesn't know what
hoping.
that
That's
is.
why he was pointing up. That's how I knew who he was talking to.
Krystle, was this your first time watching?
Yes, actually, which was weird.
I
was kind of like shocked that I hadn't seen this before, to be quite honest.
Our own Amber watches it every Halloween, so she should have joined us, but she was busy.
Yeah, I was like, why isn't she here?
You want to come on? I try. Sun?
Amber.
I've never seen this movie before, ever. And it's strange because I actually love vampire movies. I'm really into vampires a little bit.
I feel like you're going to say that you didn't enjoy this, but let's wait for that. Marilyn doesn't remember. She was doing too much drugs back then. Pat.
This girl never did drugs, unless it's prescribed, and even then, barely. And so just sorry, just to let everybody know, it's like I am suffering with displaced ribs, so it's like laughing is killing me right now.
That's what I was worried about. I saw you like wince when you got on, and I was like,
"All right, don't
laughing."
Laugh.
All right,
Brian. Well, good night, everybody. I'm gonna
Brian,
go.
Peace out.
Yeah, my time is done. Then it's the only reason I'm here is to make people laugh.
And Marilyn, do not laugh. Okay, Pat, what was your experience with this?
Yeah, I have seen it before actually. My dad, he saw that I was always into horror. As a kid, I was reading Goosebumps books, and he introduced it to me pretty early on. Probably a little bit too early because it too was super scary for me. So some of the effects, especially, were crazy. But yeah, I have seen it before, and I do. I enjoy it, man. Yeah.
How old were you when you first saw it? I'm just curious.
I must have been like 9, I think.
Yeah, I was about 9 too.
Yeah.
This would have like scared my pants off of me at 9, I think.
It's scary as shit when at 9, and it was also funny. I remember thinking it was really, really funny.
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
Was it supposed to be funny?
It was
supposed. It was
hilarious.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So the director is Tom Holland. He said he was laughing. He laughed the entire time. It took him 3 weeks to write the script, and he was laughing the entire time he was writing it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of tongue-in-cheek kind of cheesy vampire movie kind of cliches that he played into this script, which I enjoyed. The fact that the only person who will believe them or has experience with a vampire is an actor from vampire movies.
Washed up actor.
Right.
A washed up actor. Who I believe the only critique I would have about Roddy McDowell's performance would have been to not have put that fake gray hair in. Yeah, it would have been good if the gray hair was the character, but then as the actor home had his normal, salt and pepper as opposed to shoe polish white. That's the only change I would have done.
I really didn't even notice that.
It glared at me.
Yeah, and I think that
I thought it was old as shit.
I thought it was actually maybe a good call to do it because the other vampires, the makeup wasn't it was a little bit more even if everyone on the set had crazy makeup, if that makes sense. That way one person's not super standing out. Because I thought about that multiple times during watching it, and I was like, I don't know if it works or if it doesn't work. It's kind of this weird call that they chose.
Yeah, it just felt like it was a good look when he was on his TV show.
Yeah.
Right.
But then I thought it would have been a clearer, we're now in the real world fighting the real vampire as opposed to the TV show.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So the theme of the film was what do you guys think of the theme? Tom Holland said this was his reimagining of The Boy Who Cried Wolf.
Okay, I can see that.
I got that.
Yeah.
he was like watching a vampire movie or something, and he just had this like idea of retelling The Boy Who Cried Wolf with a vampire next door.
I could see that.
I
mean, it definitely read so 80s in music and tone and everything.
Oh yeah, that's what I loved about it.
I
love the soundtrack. That song is awesome. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it definitely had the same type of soundtrack as like a long episode of Miami Vice of the 80s.
The best. The synth. There was also an allegory for homosexuality, apparently, and the scene where Jerry turns evil into a vampire. That's supposed to be like very big allegory into like coming out of the closet, according to the writer.
Yeah, that makes sense because Ed was talking about how he he doesn't fit in, and I mean, you guys moving in together, it's something.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing I noticed this time watching it, like that I didn't pick up on as a kid, because I've seen it a few times when I was like a kid, and then I haven't watched it since. Like, I think they might have been lovers, right? Like, there's a little bit of a like thing going on there. I feel like.
Well, to be one of a vampire's minions, the vampire must, sucky your blood to get you turned over.
Sucky.
Doesn't the vampire always entrance whoever he is going to, like, just like he did for the one who played Amy.
Amanda Beers,
he was trying to run away from him, but then was also,
listen, she was ready to go down on him in the middle of a club. I was like, damn, girl.
He worked that vampire charm.
That was my favorite part of the entire film. And it was one of the hotter scenes, like,
here we
from
go.
Like an 80s movie. Oh my God, whatever. But yeah, I loved that scene. That scene saved the movie for me 100%.
Well, the other thing too,
that was a great scene. I love that club.
But the other thing too, it's like, okay, so Amanda Beers, she.
Oh, by the way, she was supposed to join us tonight, but she had to cancel.
The married children.
Yeah, she's Darcy from Married Children.
Super sweet, very sweet.
Very Darcy in this whole thing.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I kind of found interesting, because it's like usually the one who is playing the female lead, and especially who's going to be drawn to the vampire and all that kind of stuff, is usually a classical beauty. And she's obviously not the classic beauty, and she will probably admit that herself, but she looked very beautiful in that whole scene with in the disco area.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Her hair was all like,
she was pretty. And then when she turned into the vampire, the seductive vampire.
I don't think that was her, bro.
It was. No, it was.
It was.
At the very, very end of the film, when
it looked
she
like a
has
completely different
hair,
I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was.
I think she was just enhanced.
They gave her enhanced. Yeah, because she wore an enhanced boobs. She auctioned them off later.
Did she enhance her entire face?
I wasn't sure either, and I was like,
face.
Because I know she wore the teeth, because that was something I researched about those big teeth.
Those weren't hers, Ralph.
Wait, hold on. Are you doing a bit, or is that's real? The auction thing?
The what?
That auction thing is real?
Her boobs, yeah. She found them. She had them. She had them, and then she like auctioned them off. She found them in her garage. There's a whole story about it.
That's incredible.
I wish we could have brought her on, and we could have found out if it was her.
That's true.
Were there any other themes or allegories that you?
Can someone in chat please research real quick, since we don't have Chris anymore? It's a different lady.
She was recast.
It's a different lady at the very end of the film. There is no way it's her. There's no way it's her.
Usually body doubles don't get credited, so
yeah,
it'll be tough to
even with her entire face showing. I mean,
it doesn't look like her. I agree, but I think it was her.
No. I mean, another theme you can think about in this is, someone who thinks they're washed up and used up in their usefulness, come back with a vengeance. So Peter Vincent's career, who he was canceled, comes back and does justice and stuff like that. It's just I definitely wouldn't want to live in this town that has this kind of crazy police department that don't investigate nothing.
Yeah, the police really were like out. They were out. What about the cast? So we talked a little bit about the cast. What do you guys think of the cast? I know that Charlie Sheen wanted to read he met with Tom Holland, and Tom Holland wouldn't let him read for it because he was too good looking. So he didn't even let him read. Yeah.
So we went with Humperdinck. I thought he was really hot when they were on the dance floor.
No, not for Charlie, for the kid.
No, I was saying like about Humperdinck, whatever his real name is. I will never commit it to memory, probably.
Chris Sarandon.
There you go. But I feel like he bumped this film down mega points for me with his like when he talked. He literally just like when he was like, "Welcome to Fright Night," like I was like, "Oh, you pulled me out of this so hard, so hard." So it knocked it down multiple times.
He was doing a bit too, though. You know, I feel like he was making fun of the Peter Vincent character.
I know, I got it.
Yeah.
I just.
I mean, he was definitely playing a character there because when he,
the problem is for Krystle is that there's no naked Schwarzenegger in this at all.
There were titties, and I showed this on stream, and I was not aware it was a Z-rated movie at all. So I had to apologize to my fam multiple times. There was like a good 30-second to a minute of full chesticles out. So.
There were chesticles.
You need that European distribution.
So Stephen Jeffries played Evil Ed. He got the role after he did a very quirky read for Weird Science, apparently.
Right.
So the casting director remembered him and sent him over. He really wanted to play Charlie. He got Ed. I thought that was actually really good casting. He was creepy as a regular person, let alone as a vampire.
I think he was great as Evil Ed, but also William Ragsdale, I think, did a phenomenal job with that kind of panicked, "Hey man, how come you don't believe me?" kind of like, "Why won't anyone listen to me?" kind of panic. I thought he played it well that way.
He did. Which is kind of weird because like it wasn't really Boy Who Cried Wolf, because it wasn't like he was like going around claiming everybody was a vampire before that.
Yeah.
Like he just was like, maybe because he watched these like horror movies, but everybody thought he was like really.
Because, we're real fortunate, to be honest with you, that it wasn't Michael J. Fox in this role, because Michael J. Fox was doing pretty much everything.
Right.
And you could have easily have seen a frantic kind of young teen trying to, "Why won't people believe me?" Get that Michael J. Fox kid in here. So I like the fact that you believed Charlie, you believed him as his character. Stephen Jeffries puts out such a quirky, creepy, icky kind of vibe that it works for Evil Ed. And like you said, Amanda Bierce doesn't really play her type in this one, which is great. As an actress, that's great for her.
And I think you guys are right. I think it is her. I'm looking at a ton of photos. And
we got the confirmation from Kyle. Kyle sent us a link.
Kyle did?
Kyle said it was her.
Yeah, you are correct. It is her.
Krystle thought they recast her.
And you are correct, Brian. That hair is terrible. It's like white shoe polish, or silver.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
So Tom Holland asked the directors to write their own backstories, their own bios, which happens a lot, like in acting class. Marilyn and Brian know this, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But like, I don't know. Have you guys ever been asked to write your own bio in a movie?
Yeah.
Asked to?
Yeah.
No.
Because he like requested that the actors actually come up with their own backstories, which is cool.
Yeah, but I've never been asked, but it's something that I kind of do anyway.
You go on your own, right. Yeah, and I guess so. Chris Sarandon was always eating fruit. He came up with the fruit thing because he thought it would be fun if his character was part fruit fly, like fruit bat. I'm sorry, fruit bat. So that was his idea with the fruit.
I didn't even catch on to that.
It annoyed me. It annoyed me.
Part fruit bat is beyond me, but there you go. What did you say, son?
That was the only non-classic vampire move of the entire movie. It just annoyed me that he was eating fruit the whole time.
He was always eating like fruit. Yeah.
Yeah. He was like mouth open and like.
Every time I saw him eating the apple, I'm like, why is he eating an apple? Like,
yeah, because vampires don't really eat.
They don't.
They just drink blood.
So it was kind of like bothered me every single time.
Yeah. I feel you.
I think anytime. Oh, go ahead, Brian.
No, I was just to say, I once got into a rubber band fight with him at a convention. It was him, Tom Savini, Doug Bradley, and I forget who else. And we were at Horror Hound Pittsburgh or something, and it was slow on a Sunday. And Tom Savini started with the rubber bands, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm having a rubber band war with Sex Machine and Pimperdink and Pinhead. It's crazy. So I always thought, even back then, that he always has this charm about him. And so, I kind of thought like he had that kind of Euro trash kind of vibe as playing this role, which I always thought was pretty funny.
Wait, he did Pinhead?
No, Doug Bradley did Pinhead.
Oh, okay.
But the rubber band war involved.
Gotcha.
You shouldn't do those wars, Brian. You're gonna knock your eye out.
I didn't. It was Tom Savini started it, and I'm gonna defend myself.
Well, bring Savini here because if he hurts your eyes, I will fucking be pissed. Sorry. I'm sorry I got carried away. I apologize.
Thanks for having my back.
I don't want Brian's eyes hurt. Sorry, Marilyn. I didn't mean to hurt your ribs. Let's continue.
The makeup in this film was really, really good, though. Like that's kind of the saving grace.
Actually, that's the next thing we're going to talk about. So let's go to makeup. It was a saving grace.
It was
$1 million spent on the makeup. It was the first vampire movie with that big of a budget for makeup.
That's insane. And so while we were watching it, I asked Twitch if these were the same makeup artists who did Ghostbusters because they looked very similar. And they were. So it is the same team.
They used a rejected ghost. Was that Marilyn?
That I can definitely see that, especially when he turned into the vampire bat.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That's literally what got my attention. I was like, this looks eerily similar to Ghostbusters.
They used a ghost that they rejected in Ghostbusters because it was too scary or something. They used a.
Oh, really? You were serious? That was a real thing?
Yeah. They used something that was rejected. I don't know what it was.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know what they used it for, but I know they used something that was rejected for Ghostbusters.
What's up, Brad?
And then.
I am the keymaster. Are you the gatekeeper?
The vampire. So the I guess the contacts were really hard to wear, so they could only wear them for 20 minutes at a time.
It was called the Effects Entertainment Group. Thank you, Chronicle.
The Effects Entertainment Group. Yeah. So the contacts were really hard to wear.
I bet because those are like. Go ahead.
Yeah, in the 80s too, you had nothing but hard contacts. The soft contacts really hadn't been perfected by then.
And apparently they would have to spray paint them with glitter because he wanted them to glow. And then like Amanda Bierce wore them and they forgot to sand them down, but she didn't want to complain. So she wore them and her eyes were killing her. And then they took them out and they realized they forgot to sand them down.
Oof.
Brutal.
That's fun. Not fun. And then another story. I like this story. I guess Sarandon was usually 8 hours a day in the chair. And he was like having a tough time with it. And one day they took 8 hours, they did them all up, and then they told him they wouldn't get to him, to his scenes. And so William, was it William Ragsdale? Is that his name? He was he said that like Chris Sarandon just turned around, took everything off, was like, okay, took it all off. And Ragsdale was like, I would have like gone through the roof, but but Sarandon's will had already been broken, like because he had sat in that chair like every day for 8 hours, so he didn't even okay.
No.
I'd be like, leave it on for the next day.
And Evil Ed, so the wolf transformation took 18 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Crazy.
awful.
Yeah. Can you imagine 18 hours? I mean, I can't even
Well,
Is
at
that why
least
that scene was so
lasted-
drawn out?
at least I think it was on screen for like a good minute and a half, 2 minutes, if not longer, as opposed to going through 18 hours and 15 seconds. Thanks.
Okay, you know what? Now I know why that death scene was milked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really was milk.
That was a long one.
It was really milked.
I get that's so awful. I used to do the makeup convention called IMATS, which is like a very Marilyn, you probably know.
I do.
And I remember one year I was like modeling for them, and they put glitter all over me, like thick glitter, and then I kept asking them to put the contacts in first, but they put the contacts in afterwards, and like it just ruined, like my eyes ruined all of the makeup, and I was the last model to get done. I don't even know if we made it into the magazine because it had taken the entire day, and the whole day you just see models like walking around who are finished, and mine was like 8 hours, and I couldn't do anything like that. That's like Doug Jones. That man is like, yeah, he'll let you do anything to him. Like,
it's his bread and butter.
He just won another Saturn Award.
He did
this year for what?
Yep.
Star Trek.
Star Trek. Yep.
Yeah. The water film. What is it? Oh my god, what's the water film he did?
Waterworld?
No, the
he won like
I thought of that too.
something of water. Shape of Water.
The Shape of Water. Dude, he killed it in that. And that I can't imagine how long to
I love the effects in Waterworld better.
But I love the fact that this whole movie, like there's no there's no visual effects. There's it's all classic puppeteering.
It is.
And so when we were watching it, I was super, super hyped because that is what originally what made me want to get into the industry. I feel kind of shitty because I'm like killing off those jobs, but but the puppeteering is, I wish we'd bring more of that back.
I think some things were animated. I think when he was escaping as a bat, I think he was animated.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that. I might be wrong, but I believe there was some animation in some parts.
I would have to think. You're talking
about when he transforms into a bat after they're hunting him down and he flies down into that basement. Yeah, and I think some of the ghost smoke was animated.
Is it typical for vampires to also be werewolves?
No. I like more like that was a weird the shape I guess he's some sort of a
shape-shifting vampire.
But I didn't really understand why
I think it's like a classic lore thing.
I mean, I guess it happens, right?
I feel like Stephen King stories have had that. It seems like a more older kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, son, elaborate.
That's just what I heard. That's just what I heard, that like classic, super classic vampires can turn into bats or wolves, or beasts. And that happens in Bram Stoker's where Dracula turns into a beast as well in that scene. That's true. Yeah, it pulled a lot. Like that movie, I saw a lot of Bram Stoker in it. Like the love story and
when he recognizes her, looks just like his past lover. Mm-hmm. I think that was brought in late. I think I read that was Sarandon's suggestion too.
But then he didn't even care about her. He was like, "All right, she's up there. You can."
I know he kind of was weird. The rewatching it, there was a lot of logic issues we can get to in a minute. like I didn't really get when they're in the house. It was just kind of weird how it was so easy for them not to get killed. Didn't make a lot of sense to me, at least. But 80s. Here's a fun fact. So as you guys may or may not know, there was a sequel. I remember renting the sequel as a kid with my sister. We were so excited. We didn't know there was a sequel. I don't think it was that good. I can't really remember it. So they were supposed to be, the reason it went straight to video is because the head of the production company, Carolco Pictures, the head of Carolco Pictures was Jose Melendez, who was the father of the Melendez kids who killed their parents.
Oh.
Not to laugh, but like that's what happened. Jose Melendez was killed by his kids.
Jesus.
And they never, I guess the movie just ended up going straight to video. Fun fact. Kind of weird, kind of crazy. Who knew that?
That is crazy.
No, I did not.
Correct.
That's terrible.
You know the Melendez.
Fright Night 2, directed by Tommy Lee Wallace. That's right.
Is that who it was? Tommy Lee Wallace?
Yes.
They're trying to do it now. So I guess Holland got the rights back and he wants to do a third.
Was this his first
It was his
movie
first director as a director.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said the studio gave him a lot of control over because they were wrapped up with 2 other movies. They were like I forget what the movies were, and both flopped. So the studio just like let them do their own thing. And he was super thankful because like they just got to do what they wanted. And it was the only one that actually made them money that year, which is interesting.
Good for him.
I know. Because he got full control over doing whatever he wanted to do, and the studio was like staying out of it. The one thing they did change though at the end was Peter Vincent was supposed to turn into a vampire on his TV show at the end, into like a real vampire, and then the studio was like, no, that's too much of a downer. Like, let's keep that character.
Brian's familiar with that.
Brian is?
Of too much of a downer ending.
Oh yeah.
that it gets changed.
Well, yeah, that's why the original Clerks had like a bit of a downer ending, and they pulled that.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
Oh yeah, easily. So what happens at the end of the movie is Dante is a vampire, but then
was that a little bit off?
Because then the sequel was supposed to be Night Clerks, and then they were like,
right Clerks, and then they
Yo, you should pitch that shit. I would watch that so hard.
I will watch that. Clerks 4.
Randall, what are you doing? I told you, no sucking blood on the floor.
That's not what Randall would be sucking.
Ow!
He does
on your way.
If you ever watch closely in Clerks 2, he does have a shirt that says Count Cocula. So just saying.
Nice.
Easter egg.
Yo, I have to go back. I need to go back and watch those. I really do. I watched them so much as a child. Like, I just need to. I didn't have parents.
Wait till Clerks 3 is almost.
Yeah, then you'll
whenever that
do
is.
all 3. Do a binge.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do it on Twitch. Actually, we had talked about that. We're actually really excited, and we're doing that with Harry Potter since starting tonight. Actually.
We gotta do something on movie night for you guys.
Hell yeah.
What were your so let's get some thoughts on favorite. Let's go to favorite
scenes.
Favorite scenes. Anyone who wants to start?
Well, I'll start because it's like we already kind of hinted upon it. Krystle mentioned it. It's like, and that was
the titty scene.
No.
Titty scene, Krystle, it's a titty scene.
When they were in dancing, when he
the nightclub.
Sorry, it's hard. So yeah, that whole bit.
Sexy dance. A lot of 80s close.
And then she's looking in the mirror and she sees like, wait a minute, and then looking at him, and then looking in the mirror, and then looking at him.
Yeah, when she's like dancing like with
Yeah,
that was cool. Yeah, good scene. Like it. Marilyn, you okay?
Poor Marilyn.
Pat, favorite scene.
I think that the way that they killed Jerry was good. It felt like there was a proper build to it. You know, it felt like they'd earned that because everything else was so easy. You know, the fight against the helper. You know, just so quick, and Jerry kind of just wouldn't die. You know, so the fact that he was exposed to the sun over and over and over again, they had that big build of music. You think he's gonna die, and then he's just kind of just still chilling, you know. That fight, and then at the end, when she's alive, they do that trio hug. It felt like they bonded over this kind of strange thing that they could have never seen themselves doing together, you know. And it was a moment of kind of like sudden cuteness and heartwarmingness in the middle of this, you know, blood-drenched horror fest.
Right. Did you know that the special effects team actually helped write that scene?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is not, I would assume, not common for the special effects team to help write the film.
Well, sometimes with the special effects teams, it's like the writer writes some big elaborate scene and special effect goes, oh wait, practically we can't do that. Okay.
True.
Or
true.
they go, or they say, hey, if you want to shoot that much of this scene, it's going to take 5 days to shoot this scene.
More than a
So
mil.
sometimes there's always a compromise. So maybe Tom went to them like, look, I need him to die. What practically can we do and do it? And I think they probably did that to get them like, we'll write it. And then the makeup geeks were just like, oh, what if we did this? And oh, yeah, the flesh boils. Yeah, I could get a balloon and put it under his face. It'd be awesome. So it was good. I like that scene. That's definitely one, watching the prolonged death of Evil Ed. You knew that they spent a lot of money, and damn it, we're going to film every second of it.
Yeah.
It was so good.
It was so sad. And like Roddy McDowell, watching him transform back was really like kind of.
Yeah.
I didn't find it sad. He was like one of the most annoying characters.
He was, but like Roddy McDowell's reaction to it was like really well acted.
Roddy, besides
he was annoying.
It's like the two of them were probably the most experienced actors on there anyway.
Yeah.
It's funny because watching the Evil Ed transformation death scene, like you're expending so much energy transforming. Why don't you just survive? No, it was like watching the first time watching in American Werewolf in London when he turns into a wolf.
Right.
That whole long transformation.
Right.
This felt like that. Oh my God, what's going on kind of moment.
And also Thriller.
Right. But the soundtrack there was just, you were like, he's transforming.
Sun, favorite moment.
I think that it would be the caretaker death for me.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really well done with like I don't know what he was. Was he a zombie or something?
They don't really say. They said he's definitely half vampire apparently, and then I guess
like a thrall kind of. Makes sense.
I don't think they ever really.
I like the way the skull was kind of smoking at the end. Like that was really well done, actually.
Right.
That was my favorite.
That was cool when he
it's funny because he almost died like our last movie, The Mars Attacks, where it was this green ooze that came out of him.
A lot of ooze.
Martians.
Krystle.
The dance scene for sure, hands down. That was one of the hottest scenes. Like that was a really hot scene. So that I like that quite a bit. That saved the movie for me.
Krystle, you need to watch Knock Knock.
Oh.
I like Knock Knock. Wait, what is that?
It's new, but I think Krystle should watch it. There's like this really, really hot scene in it.
Bless you.
With Keanu Reeves.
Even better.
Joe hates that movie.
What was that? Knock.
I'm gonna say
yes.
I don't know what scenes I like. No, I mean like to pinpoint, but I like the scene where I like these short, small scenes, like the one where she's like crying in her hands, and then like Charlie goes to console her, and she turns into that. It's like the scare. When I was a kid, that still scared the shit out of me. Think about your 9-year-old self sees that. Like
back in the day, that's the look you would get from other patrons at a buffet when they put out the crab legs. Be like, crab legs.
I have a lot of jokes that I shouldn't share right now.
I mean,
That was Krystle. By the way, that was the look Krystle got when she was doing karaoke last weekend.
Dude, I was so mad.
Oh, you guys go. What? That was a Minnesota show, right?
Yeah,
That's right.
Brian saved me.
I'm jealous that you guys were there together.
Yes, I finally got to see him in person.
We missed you guys in New York, by the way. Pat, Krystle, and me were there. You three. I also liked when Roddy McDowell does the mirror thing.
Yeah,
that was actually the special,
That was a cool scene. He
special
drops
effects
the mirror.
hardest thing to do for that film,
What?
is crazy. The special effects team, that was the hardest scene for them to do, which
really?
you wouldn't think that would be like the hardest one, but
it's not something you think about. Like it's just like there. It's like but it's probably really hard.
Yeah, that was the one they had the most trouble with.
Interesting. Very interesting. Did any plot holes, odd choices that you noticed? I know there's a lot of these. What
we don't have time for all that.
Anything that sticks out? I have a big one.
I didn't write them all down.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I mean, rewatching it now, there are quite a few to me. But like, do you guys have any that are wrong?
Well, the first time Charlie sees two men loading a coffin in the basement of the house next door that has apparently been empty for a while because the mother said, "Oh, they finally sold the place." You would think, maybe I should call the cops then, because that would have been easy to
Charlie blows up his spot so easily, so quickly.
Yeah,
he has no chill to him whatsoever.
No.
Because everybody knows the cops bring the person accusing you of something to the person themselves.
Yeah, I was like, this is crazy. Like,
right.
I've called a lot of my neighbors in, and I don't ever leave my name.
Yeah, you're not.
Guess what?
Charlie's like
blown. Your neighbors now know you're the Karen of the block.
Really
I'm
a vampire.
like legit the Karen of the block.
You think your neighbor's a killer, and you're going to go in the house and start accusing him.
Yeah.
Right.
That is a plot hole. Anybody else?
Yeah. Peter uses a cross effectively against Evil Ed first.
Right.
And then it doesn't work because he doesn't believe later. And then there's a whole arc about how he starts to believe, and then it works.
Yeah, but I think with like early, like young vampires, the cross just like works because they don't have because he at one point he goes, that doesn't work on me. Like it was like you have to have faith for that to work on me. Like almost like
maybe it would have been clear if he was like, that doesn't work on me because I'm old as shit, you know. But he wasn't clear about that.
I mean, gotcha. Yeah, I think I my thought was kind of like with the young vampire, like you don't need to worry about faith. But
maybe.
Marilyn,
Low tolerance.
I don't know. There's just so many little questions here and there, like the apple and
yeah,
into the wolf and then the caretaker of the vampire. I mean, it's just. Go ahead.
No.
How about the mass murder event at the dance club? Hello.
Right. Yes, and that.
No one had their phones out.
SWAT team that followed them out.
You didn't have cameras on phones back then.
That don't matter, but it's like how all of a sudden, like the police aren't there about all that. I don't know. It's just like I said, I didn't write it all.
Well, he was super worried about. I'll get to mine in a second. Krystle.
I got it after the film, but while I was watching it and it ended and she just was a human again, I was like, wait, what? Like, and I guess like her creator died. So
yeah.
She's
So
magically a
I
human
think they
again.
say that.
Though.
I think they say they kill him before sunrise, though.
Yeah,
Correct.
I was cross stitching because I'm an old lady, and so I missed that part. But
the sun did rise, so I don't know why she's still coming back.
But yeah,
sun.
Like the whole movie. The whole movie was a plot hole.
I love you.
Like, so like if he was so worried about people finding out that he was a vampire, why would he move into a like neighborhood like that and fight a teenager? And then there was this one scene where the mom comes in and then he's like, okay, you got me now. Your mom hears me, so I'm out of here.
That's what I was gonna say. Like that was a big plot hole for me. Like he was so scared of the mom finding out. Like what the fuck does that matter? Sorry.
Yeah.
Cursing. But it didn't make sense. And then here's my big plot hole. So he's choking Charlie out through the window. It's taken him quite a while for having vampire strength. Charlie stabs him in the hand with a pencil, and he like goes like bananas.
Why here? Why not there? Like
why? But even if it's a vampire, he acted as if like he just cut his hand off. Like he stabbed the man with a pencil, and then he went ape shit over that, and then like.
It's a mini steak, yeah.
Then the mom's like knocking on the door. He's like, ooh, and he gets scared. Like he literally looks scared that the mom's knocking on the door. Like,
well, I always have two ready available at my desk.
Okay, there's also lead in the pencil.
There is lead, but like, which is fine. Okay, fine. But to Sun's point, the mom waking up.
The whole movie.
The mom waking up, not the whole movie. Ryan, are you okay? Oh my God. Oh, it's a trick.
Mom's coming. Cool.
That was a plot hole. The other plot hole was like they're in the house, and every few minutes, like Jerry would like go outside and try to kill them from the outside, and then he'd like go swipe into the window, and they would move, and then he wouldn't be able to get them. I was like, "What are you doing? You just go inside.
Yeah,
just go inside the window."
This movie didn't have to be an hour and 42 minutes long.
Oh.
The makeup made it.
Oh, it did. Okay.
And then the guy was like leaving to go to Hollywood, but like if they didn't want him at his local studio, how is he gonna make it in Hollywood? Just curious.
Here's a good question for everybody, because instead of who your favorite character was, what character in this movie did you most identify with?
None.
Krystle.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming with the girl.
I'm about to say the girl getting it on in the window.
Me too. Oh my God.
The girl in the window. You most identify with the girl in the window.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. I didn't even get that far to the dance club. Like,
going home with strange men. All right.
I think it's more that I want to be that woman, you know?
You want to be a woman?
yeah, that's true. That's true.
She looks very calm.
Fear,
I like that she was like staring at Charlie like seductively while he's watching.
Wasn't the news report is he dumped her like under a bridge? Like, wasn't that the news report?
Yeah.
Okay, and why do they turn into vampires, but the other ones didn't?
What do you mean?
That the people that they found dead didn't turn into vampires.
No, he has to.
Their heads.
I think he willingly has to turn you.
Yeah, and they chopped off their heads, I think, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
I missed that.
They couldn't be anything anymore.
Missed that part.
They were done.
What?
He was like, "Yo, ladies, I can't support all of y'all."
Okay, so Sun and Krystle identified with the
topless woman in the window. Yeah.
Prostitute window. Marilyn.
Whoa! We don't know she's a prostitute. That is sexist as shit.
I think she shows up at the house as a prostitute. Or is that a different?
The blonde in the news, the blonde was said to be a prostitute.
Yeah, I thought he was just ordering prostitutes.
Sorry.
No, I like the first lady, not the blonde.
Two different ladies.
No, I know, but I'm assuming
I thought they were both.
He shops at the same Whores R Us.
Maybe he found her at the nightclub.
I don't know. You look a little.
Did you identify with anybody in this cast?
No.
Not
actually. You know what? I would honestly change. I'd like to change. I would identify with the old movie guy. Like, because when you walked into his house, I was like, I have that. I have that. I have that. Like, we have very similar decorating skills. Not this room. Don't judge me. But the rest of the house, this is trash room.
You're Peter Vincent with a backbone.
Yeah, I agree. as someone who's been in 3 productions of Dracula, I totally relate to Peter Vincent.
There you go. Yes.
And who's been in a production where I've had to shoe polish my hair white a long time ago.
Pat, do you identify with any of these characters? Evil Ed, perhaps?
No, dude, not Evil Ed. Okay,
That's the worst one, Rob.
You know what? I would say Charlie if the first scene didn't exist. He's a major creep to Amy in the first scene, trying to push so hard. What the fuck is that? That's so crazy.
He's really pressuring her into, but
yeah.
he's like,
but it's been a year.
It has been a year.
Yeah, it's like
his blue balls are like killing him by then.
Come on.
It's a year of blue balls.
Your Honor, it's been a year.
That's a year of blue balls.
Pretty intense. Yeah, dude, like I wanted to empathize with him because he does become sort of the, he's the proxy for the audience. We know what he has seen. We want people to believe him because then they'll believe what we've seen too, But I can't forget that he's like low key just a monster, dude. He's an animal, So I'd say closest thing to someone I relate to is Peter Vincent.
Yep.
Or actually, no, Jerry, because Jerry,
you took mine. I think I'm Jerry.
I mean, you actually are Jerry because you're an actual vampire.
Can we talk about that too? Really? That's the name you're going to put for your antagonistic?
Yeah, Jerry's a weird name.
Yeah, totally.
Jerry. Hello, Jerry. Hello, Jerry.
Hello, Jerry.
Amber, I agree with you. Also, what's up? You should be on here with us. So Amber said, Evil Ed's cackle gave me nightmares for years. Fact, I could not handle him. I didn't like him at all.
Well, me and my friends after that movie, every once in a while, would just cackle and go, "You're so cool, Brewster."
You're so cool, Brewster. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's
we were
get
actually
to the final. Get to the final rating, guys. It's time. It's time to pull up the Zenescope chart. It's a little crooked. I apologize.
See, Chris had it.
As you can see, Chris is not here to defend himself, but there's a string of 5s. Legit.
There's no way Chris would have given this a 5. There's no way.
String of 5.
Yo, chat, I want to see your ratings. Chat, throw your ratings up 1 through 5. What's up? Show.
Let's see.
I would give it 4 bangs. Joshua, are you for real?
So let's throw your ratings up in the comments, and then let's go through and get everybody.
Damn, bro, y'all must all be 80s babies or 70s babies.
Okay. Let's start with Sun. What is your rating? I assume it's not going to be good.
The only reason why it's not getting a 2 or maybe even a 1 is because the makeup was so good and the score was excellent. And but this is what's really weird about this movie. Watching it is cringy. Okay, watching the whole almost every scene is hard to watch, but the memory of it is actually way better than the movie itself. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah. Remembering it is actually, I don't know why, it just
And this was your first time watching it this week, right?
Yeah. And just remembering it all day today, I was like, oh, well, that scene was kind of cool. And that was cool too. So
yeah. 3. A 3. Surprising 3 from Sun.
Sorry.
Okay, I like it.
Not my favorite.
Not your favorite. 3s is still good. Krystle?
I'm gonna give this a 2.5. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was sitting at at a 4 at the beginning, and then every time Humperdinck took me out, it just lost one. And then he gained one with that dance. That dance. I was like, oh snap, Humperdinck. Okay. But it's still 2.5 Z's for me. And I think that if I had seen this growing up, I would have loved it. I think as a kid, if I saw this one, at the same time I saw the Goonies and Lost Boys, I think I would have been like, hell yeah, this is amazing. This would have been really good for me. But sadly I didn't. And it just 2.5.
Okay. That's fair. Marilyn?
So I was like wavering back and forth and stuff like that, because for me, it's like I can almost say that it was overacted, but it's like they were theater acting. And I'm talking about the kids. You know, they were always so loud, and it's like, okay, I can understand it. You know, it's like because there was a lot going on, and Charlie, you know, just was like just very hyper about everything. But it's like I felt like he had to yell everything, especially. But for me, I loved Roddy McDowall so much because it's like just his expressions and all this kind of stuff, very natural, and then just the special effects about it all as well. So it's like I would go from like 1.5 to 2 to maybe 2.5. So I'm like, let me go right in the middle of 2.
2. Wow. Wow. Way to shit on my childhood. Okay.
He bit me, Charlie. He bit me.
Pat.
He literally says that in the film.
Are you ready to go, Pat?
I'm ready, dude. All right. So I don't really have any 80s nostalgia. So it's, you know, it's all about how the film plays to me now, you know? And in that regard, it's hard to not compare it to Lost Boys. Lost Boys, I gave it 2.5. And Fright Night is an imperfect film. But I almost have to say I wish I could give Lost Boys a lower score because Fright Night is many times better. I'm going to give it a 4.
Wow.
It's an actual story that has character arcs. It's character focused. It does what it's trying to do, where Lost Boys doesn't have any of that. It's all about, in this one, I feel it's there is style, but there's more substance to it as well. This one, you know, I approach it from a story angle, and story-wise, I feel it was a movie that I could watch now and enjoy now, as opposed to being an artifact of its time.
Mixed reviews on.
Did you watch the same Lost Boys that the rest of us
Some
did?
people are shocked you gave it a 4. Some people are happy you gave it. Brian.
As someone who saw this in the 80s with the 80s fanfare and does have the nostalgia of the 80s, yeah, motherfucker, I'm old. Anyway, I enjoyed it then as a kid. So 80s me would totally give this like a 4.5 at that time because plot holes and stuff. What? You're talking about the same decade that gave you like, you know, Cats and shit. So the play. And so with this, I enjoyed the performances. I enjoyed Sarandon. I thought he was a good choice. Finally, a non-pasty, blood-drenched white dude. It was someone who kind of had some sort of oomph to him. I enjoyed Ragsdale's kind of boyish kind of innocence and frantic ways. The special effects, especially for the time, and I think today it even still holds up very well. The storyline overall, Pat has a point, and it does hold up story-wise. Yes, there are certain plot points where you're like, why didn't you just come through the window? Or why is this happening? Yeah, that happened a lot in 80s movies where they had to go, well, we can't kill him right now. We're only 40 minutes into the movie. Let him delay the killing. You know, that kind of thing. And the fact that we found out that the special effects people wrote that final scene and how the killing. So today's Brian will definitely give it a 3.5 because if we're telling people to watch it, knowing what we all know now about filmmaking and stuff, but overall, I enjoy it anytime it's on TV. I won't change the channel. It's not impossible to watch. But I enjoyed it. So, and I'm a big vampire movie in general. So,
good rating. The movie Disturbia has a lot of same themes. Good point, actually.
Sure.
Now that you said that, that's a good comparison. I am in the same camp as Brian here. 80s Ralph, it gives us a 5. Like 80s me, little kid me, loved this movie. I did pick it. I saw some ass. I love this movie when I loved it. This was like a scary but fun. Rewatching, it's hard to judge it because like I already loved it and like saw it so many times as a kid that like it's hard to take yourself away from that. So I can't. I'm sure if I just saw it now, I'd probably give it a low score like Krystle and Marilyn. Surprised that Pat gave it a 4. Well, no, he had seen it before. But I'm with you, Brian. I'm gonna say it's a 3.5 today. 3.5. Final answer. Yeah. It's hard for me to not go 4. I'm trying not to be biased. 3.5. Final answer. Okay. Let's get to what we all came here for.
The poster definitely looked cooler than
and the poster is probably
poster's sick AF.
The poster is amazing.
And I'm excited to see Sun's.
That's a 5. Okay. Speaking of that poster, are we ready to unveil the Sun Khamunaki cover?
Yeah.
Drum roll, thank you. Here we go.
Yo!
Yeah!
Yo, that dragon is sick!
That's the Zenescope dragon ghost.
Are you a dragon, guys?
Nice.
Is that Pat?
That was not Pat. That was
Sun.
that was amazing. Love it. Love it. Sun, do you want to walk us through anything?
You're not going to sell those boobs. Hello.
We have a Z-rated version as well.
Yeah, inspired by my favorite character. No one got that. Okay, cool.
I did.
So we pretty much wanted to keep it, pretty close to the original poster that you guys saw. The dragon was. I'm pretty sure that's like supposed to be a painting of her, like the Amy's last version of the vampire with like the teeth mask thing. Anyway, we turned that into the dragon, and then of course we have Mystère cosplaying Amy's transformation, and so that was actually a lot of fun to paint. Had a lot of fun with it.
Damn, that's hella good.
Gorgeous cover. Gorgeous cover. Now, I think it's up on our website right now, I would hope. Maybe we can get a link.
Where did you get the inspiration from that dragon?
Honestly, I just kind of I looked up some dragon pictures and I tried to kind of imagine something different and scary.
Yeah, it's a scary dragon.
But I tried to keep this similar, like a similar lighting to what the poster had. But yeah, I was like, because I hadn't seen the movie when I painted this, and I thought there was gonna be some like ghostly vampires. I was really waiting for that. Did not happen.
Ghostly vampires. There were no ghostly vampires.
False advertising there with that poster, but still really, really cool to look at.
It is cool.
I guess I never even really looked at the poster too much. There's like not dragons coming out. Are there like werewolves coming out of the original?
I think they're supposed to be the bat, like the final bat form at the end.
Oh, okay.
Cool. There.
Okay, I'm trying to.
And it could be that the fact, like there was the mist and the clouds and all that not the clouds, but the mists that was constantly throughout the film. So that's probably what that pertains to.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. It's supposed to have that eerie feel.
Mm-hmm.
There's the link to grab the cover or subscribe to get your cover every month. Awesome job, as usual.
Thank you.
Do you guys want to find out what the movie is for next month?
Hell yeah!
Yes.
It's a far departure from this film. Any guesses? Let me see if I can give a hint. No, I can't even give a hint. Let's just. Where is? Oh, hold on. I don't have the layout. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
You're gonna have to show the Z-rated thing instead.
Oh no.
Woohoo!
I guess I'll show the Z-rated cover. Oh, here it is. Shh. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves. I felt like
Well, the main character for Fright Night hurt himself during production. I don't know how, but
I broke his ankle.
Did he break his ankle? Okay.
You're running down the stairs.
Oh, well, it cost the production $100,000 a day for every day he was trying to recover. So
Too soon to be talking about on-set accidents. Too soon.
Too soon.
right. It's terrible.
Okay.
What? I'm saying it's too soon.
I
That's why we need union.
know.
Oh, right. Oh, Okay.
Are you guys ready?
That thing.
Are you guys ready? Here we go. Here's the layouts.
Hey, my favorite movie.
Where to go?
Bill and Ted. Yeah.
Okay.
Wild Stallions. Yeah.
I just actually watched this like a few months ago again, so I guess I'll watch it again.
Yeah, I watched.
We finally have Circle
lot.
K's in Canada. I'm really excited about that.
Just now getting them.
Next
Just
month,
now, I had no idea what a Circle
Bill
K
and
was.
Ted's
and
Excellent
now we have
Adventure.
I think we're getting rid of all of ours.
The original, right?
That's why they came up here.
Not the new one, not the bogus journey.
The
Excellent
OG.
Adventure. Excellent
Hell yes.
Adventure.
All right, I'm giving it a 5, just so y'all know.
If Chris would hear, he'd be giving it a 6 right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Probably.
I watched this way too much as a kid.
Well, don't tip your hand. All right, we have a whole. You never know. You might rewatch it and want to give it a 4 or a 3.
No.
Yeah, doubt it, but
No.
all right. You guys know where to find them, but let's let everybody know where to find you guys.
Party on. Wrong film.
Krystle, where can everybody find you? At
Uh,
Krystle.
You can actually find me on Twitch later tonight. I'm gonna do like a 30-minute dinner break, and then we are gonna watch all of the Harry Potters starting tonight.
Wow.
I love
All
those.
the Harry Potters.
Really, Brian? Really?
You can watch all the Harry Potters right now.
We're doing one every other day for the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
So all of them
Sun-
in one sitting would be
I've never seen more than one, so I should probably maybe I'll join.
join.
So the original.
Yeah.
So
So on Twitch, y'all find me.
Sun, you can find Sun at Sun Khamunaki.
Yeah, just Instagram, Facebook, all that fun jazz. Oh, but can I plug this? I have my art book coming out.
Yeah. Yes, plug it. Hold on, let me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't open it because there's like not safe for work stuff in here, but there's no
Nice.
unfortunately there's no Zenescope art in it, but it's got like lots of pinups that I've done in the past like year and a bit.
Boo.
Boo. You can find Marilyn at Marilyn. What's your Twitter again? That Clerk's Girl.
That Clerk's Girl, Marilyn Ghigliotti on Facebook, Instagram. So
We
yeah,
can find you at the chiropractor tomorrow.
actually,
Pat,
8:30.
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
Pat
We're
Shand.
good.
No, it's just Pat Shand. Pat Shand on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok now.
What are you on TikTok? What are you doing on TikTok? You doing all the trends with the kids?
Yeah, I'm doing those dances, dude.
Nice.
And
Come on.
tonight I'm going to be going live on Comics by Perch for a live stream with Joe Corallo and Joe Casey.
Okay. There you have it. Brian, I get you on your solo.
Have you right there. Right
You
there.
see it. You see the name,
You got it.
the Brian C. O'Halloran.
Otherwise, you can follow also the show that I do, Little Whole Holloran. There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
And you can catch both Brian and I next weekend at Rhode Island Comic Con.
What?
You can. I love it. That's how they say it too.
Oh, that's me. You don't want that.
Yes, huge gathering. It's Kevin
happened
Smith, Jason Mewes, Marilyn Ghigliotti, Jeff Anderson, Trevor Furman, who plays Elias. This is his first con ever. We got Kevin Wiseman, who is also in Clerks 2 as the Lord of the Rings nerd, and Scott Chiaffo,
Right,
Julie's rep, and many, many more. That's Rhode Island Comic Con next weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Hope to see you there.
I hope to see you guys soon at a Comic Con. Zenescope's not having any other Comic Cons planned yet this year, unfortunately. But we're working on our convention schedule for next year, and we will be having a West Coast VIP con in April, guys. I think the last weekend in April for our VIP members. Probably it's either going to be Vegas or Phoenix or potentially Texas, Austin. And maybe we'll have we were kicking around the idea of doing an in-person movie night, movie club, if you guys are around.
Wow.
So we'll
Is
keep
it
you
going to be
posted.
Clerks?
It's gonna be Clerks. No spoilers, but Clerks. Thank you all for joining us. We had a fun night watching Fright Night, and we will see you next month.
For Villain Ted.
I think that the dates moved.
As of Thanksgiving?
I gotta look. I gotta double check. I think it's the 19th next month. But I'm not sure. It might be the 26th.
I might be in California.
It might be the 26th. I'm not sure.
Well, the 26th is the day after Thanksgiving.
Good excuse to get away from the family.
Good excuse.
Well, that makes, like sometimes I do Thanksgiving on the Friday versus the Thursday.
Well, we'll let you know the date because I really don't know off the top of my head. I should have checked. But we're going to say goodbye and we'll let you guys know.
We'll see ya. Do, 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 do.